I was talking about sacrifice, which is the second one. Now, we must learn to sacrifice some social media platforms and television. The number of time we expose ourselves to this gadget. Now, let me tell you, a whole lot of persons that are doing very well on those platforms, they've worked on their self to the extent whereby they are dispensing value to the world. They are offering their products to the world. You understand? You see some of them that are in different businesses. They are there for business. They are not just there to look at pictures, look at posts, look at so many things. No, they are there to add value to people's life, and also to get, in the process of adding value to people's life, and also to get results from them. You understand? Your success in life is directly proportional to the value you are adding to people's life, maybe to your environment, to the world. Your income in life is directly proportional to the amount of value, to the amount of products you are bringing to the public. What are you bringing down there? You come online, in movies, looking ads and all the rest. What are you bringing to the table? Have you calculated how much time you're spending on the social media, on your TV, on movies? Have you calculated how much time? I was telling you a secret. I said that all these top celebrities, I was listening to 50 Cent. He said something. He's one of the, his name is Curtis Green. He's one of the richest musician ever currently. He is the author of so many books, a whole lot of books, very powerful books. He has co-authored himself with a whole lot of person. Robert Greene, the guy that wrote is Seductive. You understand? A whole lot of persons. He's just doing very well. So I was listening to him. He's not the one that manages some of his accounts that you are seeing, both his Facebook accounts, his Twitter accounts, his Instagram account, all different social media platforms. Celebrities, they are not the one handling. They pay people. They don't have the time to spend there. They work on themselves. So you must learn to sacrifice. The second thing is to sacrifice your social media and your television. Have you calculated the amount of time you spend there? You only have 24 hours a day, and people are constructively using their 24 hours effectively to produce results. You might not see the effect of what you are doing now. So many people might decide to put it in their business, that 24 hours, but so many people. But what are you doing with your time? What are you doing on the social media? Are you adding any value? How long are you spending? What are you doing on the television? I tell you the truth. Most wealthy people, their life are very calculated. Very, very calculated, and they are very intentional. Anything that they are doing, they need results, positive results. So invariably what I'm saying, which is the second key under sacrifice, the second lesson under sacrifice. The first one is that we must learn to sacrifice our friendship with poor minds. Then the second one, we must learn to sacrifice the social media and the television. The number of time we spend on those things. If you spend now, let's say an average person spends close to 6 hours watching movie. They might watch 2 or 3 movies, and 2 or 3 movies now, a movie might be up to 2 hours or 1.5 hours, and you see people watching 3 movies a day. That's close to 6 hours daily. And you see some person spending, an average person spends 3 hours on the social media. You understand? That's 6 plus 9. Let's say it's 6 plus 3. Let's say it's 9. Let's say an average person generally spends time on both social media and the television 10 hours daily. Now you calculate that your 10 hours every day for 1 week is about 70 hours. You calculate it for about 2 weeks, you have about 140 hours. You understand? And you calculate it for a month, you see the number of time people spend on social media. Why? What are they doing? Nothing. They are not selling their products. They are not adding value to people's life. They are not growing. They just read. They are not developing themselves. Meanwhile, the other way around is there are a whole lot of persons that develop themselves on social media. But invariably, what I'm saying is, how much time are you spending on this thing? Is it adding value to your life? Why can't you just sit back and look into your life and see how you can be able to improve your life, become better? These are distractions. Now, when you go into the social media, a whole lot of things are popping up. These are people's idea popping up. What's your own idea? What are you bringing to the table? That's the questions I'm asking. Now, what are you bringing to the table? It's better we look into these things and see how we can shape our life. See, successful and wealthy men and women pay attention to their time. They pay attention to all those things that eat their time, that are not productive. That's why I'm giving you a secret, that they don't handle some of their social media platform. They pay people to handle it, send messages, be up to date. But you are just putting your whole time. You're not working on yourself. Give yourself 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. When you work on yourself to the extent whereby you can be able to dispense value once you come on the social media platform. I was speaking to someone, a patient that came around, and while we were talking, there was like an interlude, like a break between our discussion. And before you know what's happening, this person has brought out the phone and started operating. What is the person doing? The person is on social media. What is it? Just scrolling. Nothing. Just scrolling, laughing, scrolling, typing. What have you gotten? Like, have you asked yourself, if you leave the social media, what have you gotten from it? That point. You understand? Which information? What is? Let's start asking ourselves questions. See, when you start asking yourself questions, you start seeing life differently. Now, this is just the second lesson under sacrifice. You must sacrifice the friendship you have with poor minds. You must sacrifice social media and television. It's not a must you just stop it abruptly. You can reduce it, begin to taper it gradually. With time, you'll be hooked off. It's addictive. I was studying a survey made by a particular company, I think it's Global Web Index, in 2019. Was talking about the number of time people spend on this social media and the impact it has done on their life. You understand? Meanwhile, they were just talking about the positive impact of social media, which I know there is, but you must be able to give value when you come on those social media platforms. It's not everybody you follow. I'm teaching you these basics because where I am today, these lessons, these basics has helped me to become the best of myself. And I know that I am not where I want to be, but I am in the process of going to that place. I'm a work in progress. And I want you to start paying attention. People don't actually pay attention to a whole lot of details in their life, a whole lot of way they spend their time. I don't want to enter different things that excites us, that we spend our time on. It's not just television and the social media, a whole lot of activities that most of us do. You can see some of us will just sit down and we'll start talking for hours. What are we talking? Arguing for hours. Things that are not producing results. You argue, you talk. Those are the things, you know, a man or woman that has purpose in life does not have time for so many things. They just have time for a few things that they've dedicated their life to do. You must have something driving you. But I don't want to enter there now. I'm just in the second lesson, which is what you must sacrifice your social media and your TV. Then the third one is this. Listen very well. The third lesson is this. You must learn how to sacrifice sleep. What did I say? You must learn how to what? Sacrifice sleep. I was doing a study recently, and generally we know an average person has about 24 hours daily. 24 hours, everybody is given 24 hours a day, and an average person is supposed to sleep at least at least 6 hours. Normal sleep or normal rest is supposed to be what? 6 hours. So if you subtract 6 hours from 24, we have about 18 hours. Now, an average person is supposed to be awake 18 hours. You understand what you do with your time. Now, what are you doing with these 18 hours? You have a day, assuming you're using 6 hours for sleep. You understand? Now, if we are sleeping 6 hours every day, we have close to 186 hours in a month, in 31 days. You are sleeping, let's say the normal sleep you're sleeping is 6 hours daily. In 31 days, you are sleeping 186 hours, which is about 7 days and 18 hours. So in a month, an average person sleeps 7 days and 7 days and 18 hours in a month. That's what an average person spends, the time an average person spends in sleeping. 7 days and 18 hours. That's what an average person spends in. This is just people that are sleeping just for 6 hours a day. You see so many people sleep for 8 hours, 10 hours a day. But in a month, an average person that sleeps 6 hours spends close to 7 days, 18 hours sleeping in a month. Let's say approximately 8 days in a month. That's what an average person that sleeps 6 hours spend every month. Hi. Then if you calculate it for 12 months, like if somebody is sleeping every 8 days in a month, and you calculate it for 12 months, you'll be having an average person in a year is sleeping 3 months out of 12 out of 12 months of the year. Somebody is sleeping 3 months of his life is spent in sleeping, which is, you can call it a sleep or rest, which is just for an average person. But you see people now, they will spend close to 10-15 hours sleeping a day. Listen, this is just an average. Okay, now let me tell you how it goes. After the day's work, somebody will, maybe you leave the house by 8, you come back by 5, 6, you do all your cooking, all your washing and everything. Is now 8. Some people will sleep 8, start from 8 or 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they wake up 6 a.m. the next morning, which is 10 hours. Now that one is not enough. It's not enough. They will now wake up in the morning. Imagine losing 10 hours of your time. Out of the 24 hours, you're having 14 hours. They will still sleep about 2 hours in the afternoon hours just for rest, and they're having 10 hours. See, that's how people spend their time. You can see it. That's how people spend and waste their life. And before you know what is happening, they're 30. Before you know, they're 40. Before you know, they're 50. And they'll be asking, when did I get to this point? When did I get to this point? So this is the third lesson I'm teaching you. Learn to sacrifice the amount of sleep that you are having. Learn to sacrifice it. An average person that wants to go somewhere in life sleeps 6 hours. Maybe you can relax your head and rest for a few minutes or hours. See, the brain is always active, it's always there to help us. What are you spending your time in? So we are spending our time, some of us talking too much, some of us spend our time in movies, some of us, we are businessmen and women, so we spend almost our time doing various businesses, and we don't, in that process, we don't tend to develop our minds. You understand? We just learn the basics. Some of us spend that. There are some persons that want to eat, they will spend 2 hours eating, just eating. Oh, people don't know the value of time. Some sleeping, some reading, some on social media. You understand? So if you've not gotten anything today about the third lesson I'm teaching you, there are about 10 lessons. You understand? And I've already dished out just 3 of them. If you don't learn anything today, just know an average person that sleeps 6 hours a day spends 3 months sleeping in a year. Can you imagine that? And other calculations I don't want to bore your head with, but the essence, the basics I'm teaching here is this: what are you doing with your time? Are you sleeping with it? Are you wasting it? You must sacrifice sleep. You must sacrifice sleep. You must sacrifice movies. You must sacrifice. See, all those people that act movies and they rarely have time to even watch their own movies. As they are acting, they are finishing one, they are asking themselves, what's the next one? What's the next one? They have a whole lot of things to do and they are developing themselves. I don't know why people spend their time on careless things. I'm saying this so you'll be angry with yourself. You will see, you will not be comfortable. Just as Bansar in The Richest Man in Babylon, he came to the point in his life whereby he was like, I can't take this again. I just want to help you see this information is life-changing. It can transform your whole life if you pay attention to them. In the end of this lesson, as I summarize every one of them, I'm going to just repeat them one after the other, so you will see the 3 lessons I've taught today under sacrifice, which is the first foundation for wealth and success. You must learn to sacrifice a whole lot of things, but I've already taught you 3 lessons today, and I believe these lessons will transform your whole life forever. There are 10 of them. This is just the first series, just 10 of them, 10 lessons under the first series, and I've mentioned just 3. I want you to look out for other lessons, other series, to get the complete version of this audio message. Listen, our life is the product of the decisions that we are making. Where you are now is as a result of the decisions you've made years ago. Whether in your business, I don't want to know, period. Whether in your business, in your finances, in your relationship, every area of your life, it's the product of the decisions you've been making in your previous year. That's where you are now. So when you start making all these little changes, if you remember in the early stage of this lesson, I think before I started the foundation for wealth and success, I said something that our success in life is a product of our daily habits, daily decisions that we make. So make up your mind now. Decide, just as Bansar in The Richest Man in Babylon took his decision that he will never be poor again. And he did not just took that decision, he took action. Take action. These 3 lessons I've taught you. I know why I don't want to bog you up with the 10. I just want to cut it in different lessons so you will be able to apply it constructively. Take actions with the friends you're keeping, with your exposure to social media and the televisions, with the time you spend sleeping, the time you spend eating, the time you spend talking, the time you spend doing reading. A whole lot of them. But first of all, you must know what you want in life. Now, finally, as I summarize, I'm just going to say this. It's a question I would like to ask you. What do you want out of life? What do you really want out of life? What do you really want out of this life? Our life is a gift of time. That's why it's called lifetime. The time that we use is attached to the life we are living. People die every day. Things happen, but you're still alive. But what can you do with the life, with the time that has been attached to your life now? What are you doing now? Don't disturb yourself about what will happen next. No. What are you doing now? Now, with your time, with your life. What do you really want? These are questions you ask yourself. Now, I taught 3 lessons under sacrifice. Sacrifice friendship with poor people, poor minds. Sacrifice your time you spend on social media and TV. And the third lesson, sacrifice your sleep. I believe this information has transformed your whole life. This valuable information that not everybody will dispense to you. I love you. I want to see the best out of you. I know that you can achieve more. You can be the best of yourself. No matter the family you're from, no matter the background, no matter, you can be the best. But these are the basics you need to learn first. I believe that this audio message has transformed your life greatly. For you to reach me, you can send me a mail at henryobikwere98@gmail.com. henryobikwere98@gmail.com. I just need to hear your testimonies about this message, about how this information has transformed your whole life. I just want to hear your testimonies. Send me a mail and I'll be glad you did. I am Dr. Obikwere Henry, a businessman, a financial expert, and a life coach. Thank you so much for your time. Take action. Take action. Love you. See you in the next episode or the next lesson. Bye.